Hello everyone and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division in the Metro Open Tournament. This video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go! Before I take my first shot, take a look in the video description down below for direct timestamps to every hole in this playthrough. So Rookie Division, you can practice all of these holes on tour number 4, the 6-star hotel. And we're going to play from the front tee. As you can see, I'm back home now, home to the cold Sweden, and hopefully going to pull off a great playthrough for you here. So if you do have played your round already, please let me know in the comment section down below what you got in your round. Check out patreon.com/golf/Tom if you want to book a training session, or you maybe want to sign up so you do get the text guys before everyone else. So let's start with shot number 1, and now we're going to play a slight different than our opponent that we're going to go directly over. As you can see, we're playing with the quarterback level 9, and I would suggest that you play with a quarterback no matter what type of level you really have of the quarterback. Sure, if you do have it level 2, level 3, might go and change to the extra mile, but I like the accuracy, I like the ball guy to kind of give us that control. And I've tried this shot that I'm doing now even with a quarterback level 5, which worked. We're going to play this 4.2 rings, so like as it called 101, so 1 ring per miles per hour. So 4.2 max side spin. We're not using any top spin, any back spin. We're just going to land ourselves nicely there up to the right. So from this position now, we're going to have a nice approach towards the pin. And from this position, you can play with whatever long iron you may want. What can I say? I like to go before the rough here. Sure, you can go for the rough bump. You can go directly over the rough as well. But have in mind here that the problem that might occur is that you're going to not be able to go for the pin if you don't have the backspin on your club. So now our opponent is using too much topspin. He doesn't have to go with topspin, he can go just without. So our opponent here is going to hit it perfect, and going to see, you can see he's going to go long with the 3 bars of topspin here, coming in a bit too hot, but still from the fringe here, not going to have any problem whatsoever to ship that one in for a birdie. Our turn. Now you can see we're playing with the Goliath level 7. That is a little bit too high for Rookie Division, but again, the shot works the same. So we're going to aim here to the front. Take a look at the ball guide line here. We do want the ball guide line to point a little bit to the left of the pin, like the tip of the left of the pin, and just going to land after the rough there. We're going to play this shot in minimum distance of our club, which means that those are the numbers we're going to go with. So from this position, we're going to go with 1.2 rings with our Goliath here. And we do hit it great, unfortunately, which means that we're going to lose a little bit of distance. But as you can see, we're coming in very, very nicely here, going a little bit short, but we do lose distance due to our hitting great. But that is how hole number 1 works. And now we're going to go to hole number 2, a par 3. Which we're going to play with a long iron. And for this example, we're going to play with a quasar because we do want to have the side spin here. We're going to play with the backbone here, level 7. 2 bars of backspin as well, because that is a good amount of backspin to have. We kind of need to aim around, if we're going to use max side spin and play it as we want to, then we want to go 1.5 square to the left of the pin. Now we're going to play this one as we would be between max and medium position, which is going to be 2.5 ring with the backbone level 7. The thing that we do here as well is that we do want, as because we're coming in with a nice speed, but the thing that we do here as well is that we add 10% to our adjustment. And for you that might not know what I mean with adding 10% to your adjustment, it means that, like, let's say we do have the wind that we have now, 5.4, that if we take 10% extra on that would give us 6 miles per hour. Then we adjust for 6 miles per hour instead of 5.4. And for those that are using some kind of application to help adjusting for the wind, then that of course is a little bit easier to count that one, and otherwise you will have to do it in your head, or you have to write it down before you go into this hole. But we are going to add 10% extra to our approach here. So now we're going to focus and go to hole number 3. Hole 3 is a par 5. And now we're going to change driver. And we're going to play with the Extra Mile level 5. Extra Mile level 5 is the best driver I do have on this little guest account. And of course, the more distance you have, the easier this shot will be. I'm going to go with a Titan here, giving myself power 3, which means distance. If you do have a Berserker, sure, you can play with that. But I highly recommend to stay away from using the Berserkers, especially in Rookie Division. We're going to go straight forward, max overpower, max topspin, and max side spin to the left. Then you maybe think, okay, going max overpower is going to be very dangerous for you and you might cut the rough and roll out and stuff like that. Sure, that might happen, but you know what? If that happens, then we need to counter with having a wood club that give us a lot of distance for the second shot. So now with this perfect drive that we made, now we are not going to have like the ultimate wood club for this particular situation, because we're choosing to have the big dog in our bag. And again, that is because we need to always think, okay, what if I'm not hitting my drive perfect? I might hit it great to the left or hit it great to the right, especially when I have to overpower. That means that I'm going to lose distance. I might going to cut the rough and roll out and lose as initially some distance of my drive. So now we can do two things. We can either bounce over the rough or we can go directly onto the green. If you do have 4 bars of backspin, that is possible to go directly onto the green. But with a big dog, it might not be the best way to play it, but it's definitely a safe way to retain the eagle here. So 3.1, and we're going to give 1.2 rings with our big dog. We just want the ball to bounce just off the rough here. As you can see here, coming in nicely, coming in a little bit too much to the left, but still a good amount of speed, landing it very, very nice for an eagle there. What will happen if you would be coming short with your drive? The thing that will happen is that you will have to use the topspin and bounce over the rough that we played over now. So you basically change that around and play it. As you can see there on the top, we do have the rough in between, like the fairway and the fairway before the green starts. Then that is important to play with topspin there as well. So now we're going to play hole number 4, and this is going to be a par 3. Here we're going to play with the Guardian. And have in mind, even though there is a Guardian level 6, this shot can be played with a Guardian level 2, because I do have level 2 on another account that I tried it out with as well. So we're going to aim, so we do have the yellow ring, just cutting the fringe there, as you can see here on the top. And then we're going to adjust for 10% extra here, which means that we're going to adjust for like 2.8 miles per hour instead. We're not using max backspin here, because I'm just thinking like to just apply this shot for every level of the Guardian. Then we need to play it here with a Guardian level 6 with a little bit less bars of backspin, just to show that it's actually possible to get it very, very close. I like that approach, because then we're taking away the bunkers, because even if you hit the gray to the right or you hit the gray to the left, you're still going to have enough backspin to let the ball stop on the fairway or on the fringe or on the green for either a short wedge, or you're going to have a short putt for the pin. And I like that, because that really counter for having those bunkers. Sure, we can bounce it before the bunker and bounce it through the bunkers and land it on the green, but in the end, we're playing rookie. We need to play in the way that makes it as easy for us as possible, combined with giving us opportunity to make the hole-in-one. So now we're going to play hole number 5, and hole number 5 here, now we're going to play it in one way, and we're going to play in the same way as our opponent is doing. The thing that our opponent is forgetting here is that he's using topspin, and he shouldn't be using any topspin whatsoever here. Or as a max, like 1 bar of topspin or something like that. So the thing that we want to look for here is that we do want to play with a power 3 ball. And the power 3 ball is going to be very important for us, because we do want to reach with our thorn for our second shot. I'm going to show you later. So now we're going to play directly over here. I'm gonna use max side spin to the right and 2.5 bar of backspin as well. because we do want the ball to kind of stop, because we're still going to have enough distance to reach for the pin there. We're going to stretch it out as for where we do want to have our landing position, like as ultimate. Then we're going to adjust from there. As you can see, 2.8, we're going to adjust around 1.7 rings or something like that for that. And just make sure that we're going to hit the fairway and land up nicely here for us. The drive, we add 10% to our adjustment. Again, we do add that to the wind to make it as much as easy as possible. So now, our opponent here is going to wedge it in here, not wedge it in, but it's going to try to with a So, okay, our turn, we're going to play with a thorn here, and we're going to go max backspin here. As you can see, look at this position that we're having now. It's just absolutely excellent. And we do like this position big time. Now we're going to go with max backspin, and we're going to play this one in medium numbers here, because we're not going to be in max numbers here. We're going to play this one 1.5 ring. And max backspin here, the thing that we do that we want to use max backspin is because we want to have a flat surface where the ball is about to bounce for the first try. Bounce! Bounce! Boom! Get in the hole for that eagle. Hole number 5 is definitely going to be a very good opportunity for the eagle. And I would almost see hole number 5 not to be a must eagle, but definitely a very good eagle to bring with you to the opening round as a tiebreaker. So now we're going to play hole number 6. That is the second par 5. The second par 5, and we're going to give ourselves a play with the quarterback. And this is going to be a shot where I'm going to add 10% extra to my adjustment again. So like, we're going to take a look at the wind that we're going to have, and I'm going to talk you through it there. The thing that we do want here is that we do want to bounce exactly as our opponent is doing here. Just over the bunker, land ourselves nicely there on the fairway, and have no problem from this position to get this ball to the green. Hole number 9, we're going to play with a Marlin. We don't need anymore. Even though it's a par 5, we don't need distance that much. Sure, if you do have an extra mile or something like that, that could be maybe better to play with. But I like the quarterback here. It gives us a situation where we do not need to overpower. We're going to play this one, as you can see, 4 rings there. Then we're going to add to 4.8. So 4.8 rings is the thing that we're going to play with here. Max topspin with the quarterback level 9. And important for us to see that the ball guideline is going to be past the bunkers here. And now, even though we hit it great, we do lose distance, but the beauty with it is that we do have tailwind. So if we just hit it to the fairway, we're going to have no problem to bounce it over the rough there. Have in mind, for those of you that are maybe playing with a big chopper, you may be playing with an extra mile that is higher upgraded, don't use more than 5-6 bars of topspin. Otherwise, you're going to have a very tough time to get that ball to stop before the rough or before the bunker. So our opponent is going to try something here. Try to hit it good on purpose. I think this is an absolute excellent shot. I don't know if it was on purpose, but if the shot was on purpose for hitting it good, then it was absolutely excellent. The thing that we can do here, the reason I'm showing the other way is because you can actually play it with a lot of curl from the left side as well. The problem we have here is that the fairway do slope there to the right, and we need to go with a lot of curl here. And also we need to go with more side spin. Now we do have a Marlin, which is not the ultimate ball for this particular situation. We do have the Viper level 9, which give us around 60 or 17 curl, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to play this one 2.1 rings, as we're going to play this one in like minimum/medium distance. As you can see, we bounce here, but we don't have enough side spin and also don't have enough power to get it there. In the end, this is, in my opinion, an eagle hole. I don't see that many opportunities for us to get that albatross without having that extreme luck on our side. So we're just going to leave it and take the eagle and focus on hole number 7. Hole number 7, okay, I tried to play this one with a big topper. I will have to say that the problem I had with a big topper was that even though with the amount of topspin here for the big topper, it gave me such an inconsistent first bounce that I sometimes rolled past the trees on the left, sometimes I didn't. Which means that I don't like that, because if I didn't roll past the trees on the left, then I didn't have an open shot towards the pin. I want to say that before I take my first shot here, to actually tell you that I actually played that way, to actually not rule out, but give that situation a chance. The thing here that many players will do is to try to go over like our opponent did and put themselves in the bunker, put themselves close to the green, but they will have the trees in their way. So for us in rookie here, I really do like for us to just lay up. We can choose a bowling ball here. We're just going to lay up 10% extra to our drive, so 5 miles per hour. If we summon that to 5, then we're going to add 0.5 miles per hour, and we're going to play this one 4.5 ring, even though we are in medium distance of our club. We hit it great, but with the amount of backspin that we do have with the quarterback and side spin to the left to counter that, we have no problem to get this ball to stay there on the fairway. And that is the important part, get the ball to stay there. So choose a driver that do have at least 3 bars or more backspin. So even though our opponent is having a shorter shot towards the green, he has a tougher shot. And that is something that I would like for you to have in mind when you play this course, that it's not always the best to go as far as possible. Many of the times it is, but on this particular hole, when we do have the trees here, it's going to be very, very dangerous for us to play too far straight forward and put the trees in our way. And now we're going to play with the backbone here, and with the backbone we're going to go and kind of follow the ball guideline here. The problem we do have here is that I'm going to over adjust this shot big time, and we're going to side spin with the mauling ball here. And I understand that you might not have the backbone 11-9, but this particular shot you can do with whatever long iron you do have. We're going to play it as it is and going to add 10% to our adjustment. Now, as you can see, I played this one like almost 4 rings, which is way too much. And you can see me cutting the rough here to the left, and which is not good. But from this position, we're going to wedge it in anyway. Important to have in mind with hole number 7 there, 10% extra to your drive, 10% extra to your second shot. And again, 10% extra means that we're going to add more adjustment to our shot because we're playing downhill. And 10% extra with a 5 miles per hour wind, easy to do is to add 10% to the wind and adjust from that position. Hole number 8, the last part 3 for us, and this is a part 3 which I really like the design on it. I think it's a course that it thought through, and it's not going to give us that many room to play it bad. So worst case scenario, we're going to roll past and roll into the rough, and that is not something that should be happening. So we're going to play here with a quasar because we do want to have the side spin. The side spin helps us to kind of give a little bit more control of the bounce here, as we're going to want to play in a position where the ball is going to be pushed to the left, and combined with the wind that is going to push us a little bit to the left as well, it's going to be very, very important to do so. 4.4, 10% extra again. We're going to play this one 2.7 rings, and we are playing our shot for being in medium distance of our club. medium distance of our club with 10% extra. And as you can see, we're coming in very nicely with the speed here, coming in a little bit too much to the left, but in the end, it's a good shot, and we're going to be close for this hole-in-one in the tournament, that's for sure. Hole number 9. And you know, in the regular playthrough for Rookie, like before the tournament start, I did take, excuse me, sorry. I did play this one on the island here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play myself to the right and put myself in a position where I'm actually going to rough bump this one in a nice way towards the green. The first thing we need to have in mind is that we need to have a driver that has good accuracy and ball guide, which is going to be the quarterback for us. And then we're going to have a wood club with as much distance as possible, combined with topspin. Topspin is important. So that could be a big dog. That could be the horizon as well. So we're going to go with max side spin. We do need to have a power 3 ball as well. 1 bar of backspin. And we want to aim, as you can see here, we want to aim so the ball guide line is shown on the left side of the bunker there. And we want to go as close to the top there on this fairway. 4 rings. As we're going to play this shot like as no elevation adjustments, we're not going to add or subtract anything, and we're going to just play as it is from medium distance of our club. As you can see, we get a nice bounce here and a nice roll, and of course in the best case scenario it could have been like 5-10 yards further up, but this will work absolutely excellent. The thing that we do want here is that we will find ourselves in a position where we actually can be close to the green without having to max overpower our shot. And that is a shot that is going to be played on every division, I will think. So our opponent here, as you can see, has a hammerhead level 2, and hammerhead level 2 is not a bad club in this level. But in the end it's not going to cut it, so the only thing to do in this particular situation is to bounce yourself forward here. The thing that you need to have, power 3 ball, you need to have a club with more topspin, and even if you have a big topper in level 2, level 3, level 4 and the accuracy is really bad, then you need to play with that club. So take a look here, we're going to find a spot here through the trees. This spot here is the line I'm looking for, max topspin. And we're going to find ourselves a way where we're going to have the center of the trees as a reference point. So we're going to drag it up here. We're going to drag up our adjustment here between the trees. As you can see, we're dragging it up there, then we're adjusting for a shot there. And so we basically drag it down. We estimate that we're going to play with around 75% in overpower. 75% is so much easier to control than it is to 100. And we want to bounce in the rough and roll out and put ourselves nicely there on the fairway. And we're going to have a short wedge to make the eagle on hole number 9. So that is, in my opinion, the absolute best way to make an eagle on hole number 9. So ladies and gentlemen, that was the playthrough for Rookie Division. Again, check down in the video description for the direct timestamp for every hole in this playthrough. And also check out patreon.com/golf-tommy for training sessions and text, guys. I will be back streaming now once I'm home, and we're going to start directly now, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to play Pro, Expert and Master. Take a look, and I hope you will enjoy it. So, thanks a lot for watching this playthrough. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the Metro Open tournament.